Hey guys, long time no talk to, huh? Sorry, I've just been doing um, a lot of things on my own. Call it shadow work, call it, I don't know what you'd call it. Just trying to, I guess you could say, deal with a lot of things in my life that have happened in the last couple of years, which those of you that have been with me know. Um, I'm actually doing pretty good now. Still don't look all that great, but it is what it is. Um, I try to bring y'all along on my journey. Um, what resonates with you, you can use, and what don't, get rid of it. But I guess this could pertain to even the younger witches. Uh, but it mainly affects the older women, those of us that are getting up there in age. We all know about menopause and going through the change, and I mean everything changes. The way you think, the way you look, your health could be affected. The thing is that we have to remember, and I believe you me, I know it is so hard because I have went into a pretty deep depression in the last couple of years. As most of you know, I mean, I lost my home, which I loved. Not by any of my doings, it was rented and they sold it. So, anyway, I had to move, which was um, traumatizing to me, all in and of itself. I'm sorry about the light, you guys. There's nothing I can do about it. Um, but anyway, and then, um, things just kind of went downhill from there. My health, I developed some health issues. Um, just pretty much went through a living hell for the last 2 years. I mean, it could have been worse. I'm very fortunate, and I have to keep remembering that. Um, I'm a firm believer that things happen for a reason, and a lot of times things ensue because of our own former actions, if that makes sense. Things that you did in your younger years or whatever. That could be anything from alcohol abuse to drug abuse to smoking to overeating. Um, we pay for all that as we get older, and of course, injuries. I was into sports all my young years, very much so, and I got hurt quite a bit, and those injuries are kind of coming back to haunt me in the form of arthritis and you know just things that happen as we get older. And I think I'm not going to say it's harder on women than men. I think we approach it and go through it differently, um, and it affects everything. Every single thing. As women, um, whether we want to admit it or not, we like to be attractive, do we not? No matter what your shape, form, color, ethnicity, whatever, we all like to present as well as we can. Um, some have to work harder than others, to be able to look in that mirror and go, hey, I'm beautiful, which I believe everyone's beautiful, but we are very hard on ourselves, are we not? I'll tell you a big secret, and it's really not a secret. And this is why I try to share with y'all as I go through things. So it might possibly help somebody else. I don't know. And all we can do is the best we can do, right? Um, First of all, you've got to heal your mind. Okay. You've got to think differently. All right. Let me tell y'all, I've always considered myself a pretty tough person, a tough woman, mentally, physically, um, emotionally, and as a witch. But I'm telling y'all, this here in the last couple of years has really got to me. I mean, I truly understand depression. Um, I truly do. And, there's times I'll go in there and I'd lay down and it's like, what? Here come all the questions. Why is this happening to me? I had one friend uh, asked me if maybe that I thought that somebody had put a curse on me, and I was like, why would they? No, I don't. I don't believe that I was cursed. I believe that circumstance and my own um, uh, unpreparedness was the reason all this ensued. Um, if you look back, people tend to blame everything and everybody else for their own crap going on, right? Well, if so and so hadn't have done this, I wouldn't have done that. Or, if so and so hadn't have done this, I wouldn't have done that. Okay, well, we truly cannot blame our own downfalls. Now, not 100% of the time, but 99.9. Our actions and what we choose to do are our own free will. And in the long run, we deal with the consequences, right? No matter what it is, whether it's good or bad. If you work out every day and, you um, eat right and, you live a good life per se, um, your chances of getting, sick or having, any kind of emotional breakdown are pretty slim because you've got your body in tune with your mind. And people say, oh, well, that's not true. Well, it is. In the craft, do we not? Our minds are our most powerful tool. Um, why couldn't you heal yourself? This is where your holistic healing comes in and all the natural um, aspects of it. However, you want to look at it. Even the doctors, I think it's so awesome that even the doctors nowadays are using natural herbal medications and remedies in their practices. Um, I think that's awesome. um, Once again, I do have to say, because I am a medication nurse, before, if you're on prescription meds, please research those herbs that you take. Okay, especially if you buy your own herbs, grow your own herbs, to make your own teas, whatever. Um, in my belief, and I'm sure I'm right, those are more potent because they're in their rawest form, right? Whenever you go to the store and buy your herbs, um, in the spice aisle, those have been dried and, lost a little bit of their potency along the way and what have you. They're still excellent, yes, but um, they're pharmaceutical grade, I guess I'll say. Um, we don't want you having any kind of weird adverse reactions because you mix a specific herb with a medication. And if you look back on my other videos, I've given examples of several of them. The main one that I always stress is the herbs that will thin your blood. Take extreme care, or avoid them completely if you're already taking blood thinners, especially Coumadin, warfarin, know, Eliquis, all those blood thinning medications, because it will mess with your INR, your protons and stuff like that. But anyway, research everything that you put in your body if you're on a prescription med. I would do it whether I was on one or not, because and then watch your allergic factor. You may use a very small amount. Most people aren't allergic to the natural herbs. They're just really not, thank goodness. But anyway, just take care whenever you use these things, and what works for one may not work for the other. But anyway, as I always say, it's all in your mind, right? Okay, now I understand that. Let's use weight loss or weight gain. A lot of times it is hereditary. You may come from a long line of women that were overweight. It doesn't mean it has to be that way. I don't like to hear people say, well, my mama was big or my grandma was big, so I'm big. No. If you know that is a higher possibility for you, and this is, a lot of this is hindsight. But if you know this may occur as you get older, then when you're younger, take more care to take care of yourself. And I know that is way easier said than done. And hindsight's 2020. I know all the cliches, but I can say I told you. Exercise is very important. When you look good, you feel good. It automatically helps your mental health, right? If you, I won't say enjoy looking in the mirror. I don't want you to be all conceited, but if you don't look in the mirror and go, ugh, that helps your mental health. When you're clean, you feel better. This goes back to what I always talk about, negative energy. As we go throughout our day, we accumulate negative energy, and nasty crap sticks to us. Well, you have to get rid of that. You have to wash it off. It's the same in your brain. Depression, that is a chemical imbalance. Well, that's pretty easily remedied. Some of them can be, I don't like to use the word cure, but I will. They can be cured by just changing our daily lifestyle. Um, Depression comes in many forms. Now, if it's a chemical imbalance in your brain, then you will have to see a doctor and um, be on some sort of medication, quite possibly. I don't want people out there saying, "Oh, well, I just need to take more or less of this herb, to feel better," because it could be a problem, you know, actual chemical imbalance that you're not trained or you don't know how to deal with it. So you need to see your doctor. Um, there's different forms and different levels of depression. Um, those that aren't chemical um, could be caused from the outside world, that we're looking around in us. We're not happy with our situation, which was, and is my main problem. I'm just not happy where I am at in my life. I'm not where I thought I should be. I'm not um, this and I'm not that. And, here comes the bashing myself for not following my goals and achieving them by now. And then as you get older, you think, okay, now I've run out of time. I can't do this anymore. I can't do that anymore. And a lot of things we can't, you know. I mean, I can't go play, a quarter of basketball anymore. I could, but I'd probably die on the court. But this is, there's so many other things you could do. You could start a craft and keep your mind busy instead of always thinking about the bad. And I am so bad about that. I constantly reflect. Um, and I'm so busy looking back and kicking myself in the ass for things that have happened that I'm not looking forward, you know, and I don't see the wreck in front of me. Um, sorry, a metaphor there, but so when I do turn around, there's another problem because instead of looking forward, into the future and planning, setting myself up for success, I'm too busy looking behind me going, what the hell was that? How did that happen? How did I get there? And if any of you are perfectionists, you know what I'm talking about, because once you fail at something or something doesn't go exactly the way you thought it should, it just shatters everything around you. Or it does me. I'm like, oh my God, how did I fail so bad at that? I had this meticulously planned. It should not have fallen. It should have been a success. And then we spend, um, the goddess only knows how many days, months, years reflecting on that one mess up, and you totally wreck your future because you're not planning for it. You're not looking forward to it. And I know it's hard sometimes. Man, I could tell y'all stories. Um, a lot of people, when they find out some of the things that have happened in my past, wonder how I have not put a bullet in my head by now. um, I guess I'm just stubborn, but I am getting older. And each setback affects me worse than it did before because I'm tired of it. Most of us, when we get to this age, we're like, okay, now I can slow down, I can relax, and enjoy the grandkids and take up that craft, whatever I wanted to do. And I don't have to worry so much about these other things. Well, not me. I'm still going, okay, when's this going to happen? I mean, and it's happened throughout my life. always had setbacks, major setbacks, whether it be my fault, not my fault, or it had to do with my health, my fault and not my fault. So where do you go from there? Okay, you start healing up here first. You have to do your shadow work. You have to never forget the past. People say, forget the past. No, no, no. Don't do that. But don't dwell on it. Use it as a reference. Say, okay, that's the whole human learning process. That's how children learn. Don't touch that. It's hot. Well, they don't forget that. It's not something they think about every day. They just come to learn, don't touch that. It's hot. And they probably won't. It's the same with anything else. If we don't have enough money, or if we're not living in the house that we thought we would be in, or if our car keeps breaking down, all these little things in life that really can throw us off kilter a lot of times. And when it happens nonstop and it seems like it just keeps pounding you and pounding you, it can be extremely overwhelming. And believe you me, I know. Been there, still there, getting better. You have to remember when you're going through these things that when you come out on the other side of it, you're not going to realize how thankful for you that you are for even the little bitty things that you have. Even through all this mess, I try to find things that are good, because the more good you bring in, the more you put out. Wrap yourself around, with the good things. They seem to snuggle you and carry you through all the other bad thoughts that are, going on in your head. A lot of things about us we can fix. As most of you know, I have heart issues. Went through this thing with my lungs, whatever that was, in the last couple of years. Things that made it to where I couldn't be as active as I normally am. You see what I mean? So therefore, and plus getting older, what happens? I've sat around and I've gained weight. Now, this is totally uncharted territory for me because I have always been so thin. All of my life until like my mid 40s, I didn't clock in over 115 pounds unless I was pregnant my entire adulthood. All of a sudden, my mid 40s, I get up to 130, 135 pounds. And actually, it was kind of neat to me because I was always looked at like, ooh, you're too skinny. That's gross, blah, blah, blah. I got boobs. I got a butt. I gained weight where it needed to be proportioned, but then it didn't stop. Just kept going. It kept going. And then I got sick and I couldn't, do this and do that. And so when you don't have your favorite clothes that you like to wear anymore, they don't fit. Then you don't have the money to go buy you a whole new damn wardrobe. So what do? You run around in sweatpants or those little pajama pants everybody wears nowadays, which I love. You just kind of, and big t-shirts, I know y'all been there. Thing is, where do we start to do something about it? It starts up here, right? I'm telling y'all, if you get it right up here, the rest will follow. And that is my problem. You set a goal. And then you work to achieve that goal. Well, that goal starts up here, right? Okay. So you could start by saying, okay, in the morning, there's so many examples I could use. Say, when I get up in the morning, um, I'm going to, I don't know, if you eat breakfast, some people don't eat breakfast. Um, Coffee is actually good for you. It's what you put in your coffee or your tea that uh, may not be so good for you. The creamers, the sugars, um, but everything in moderation. You know, I've always been a firm believer you can eat anything you want. Just don't sit there and eat it all day long for years at a time. You know, if you know your metabolism is slowing down, which it will as you get older. It's just the way the body is. Um, Everything starts slowing down. So when you gain that weight, it's even harder to lose it. So the remedy would be don't gain it in the first place, right? The only thing with me is I had never had that problem. I could eat anything I wanted as much as I wanted and never gain a pound. Truly. And then all of a sudden, I call it COVID fat, because I sat at home in the house, um, eating. I'm sitting on my butt. Seriously. So, and then I wonder how come all of a sudden I put on weight. And then I got sick, couldn't do anything really as far as walking or jogging or exercising. You can't very well do that stuff when you have no air, right? So, it just compounded the problem. And then losing my home and having to move and stay with somebody else and not having your own space and blah, blah. It just keeps adding up. So what's eventually going to happen? You're going to have this going up here where you're not thinking right anymore, where you're giving up hope, where you're just beside yourself that you have no idea what to do. But I guarantee you, if you start small. Um, and I know, like I said earlier, a lot of it has to do with money. A lot of people can't go get a pedicure at the beauty shop or a manicure or a facial. Do it at home. We're witches. Concoct your own stuff to put on. You can get honey and sugar. Um, and make you a facial scrub or your exfoliant for your skin. Put your scents. Always use scents. Use aromatherapy, to get your mind right. There's so many ways that you can fix this. A lot of mine, um, the money was just, I don't know, I had to get help to pay for all these health issues that I've undergone to get well, to get better, and it affected my job. I couldn't work those 12-hour shifts like was expected of me. It was just a big mess. And I have done a lot of reflecting. I've tried to make use of that time. But what you have to do, I'm telling y'all, you have to be careful who you're around. Um, the influences that go on around you do affect you. Um, and once you already feel depressed and yucky, and then you see everything around you yucky and everybody else that has a shitty attitude and aren't doing anything with themselves. They're not setting good examples for you. Not that you need one, but you know what I'm saying. It's easier to get up, to find the strength or whatever you want to call it, to get up and do something if somebody's doing it with you, right? Or at least being positive um, about what you're doing. So be careful. This could be considered negative energy around you. Don't be around those kind of people. Don't be around the kinds that aren't doing anything with their own life. Not that you don't care about helping that person, but right now you've got to take care of you. Right now it's all about you, because if you don't have you, you can't be there for anybody else. If you're a pissed off, raving lunatic all the time, who's going to want to be around you? you know, um, do the little things. Take your cleansing showers or baths. Man, I love my baths. I miss that, I think, more than anything. To being able to, put my lavender salts in my bath water and just lay there. I just miss that so much. And it's the little things like that. Your quiet time, your private time that you no longer have. And I'm telling you guys now, over the last couple of years, I've had a lot of time to sit and think. Some of it good, some of it not so good. But you reflect on everything, every single thing, and it can drive you completely nuts. I find myself going, okay, stop it, stop it. Yeah, that happened. It's done. It's over with. What are you going to do now? You cannot do this for the rest of your life. You cannot be this way for the rest of your life. Get up, have a self-care day, put your makeup on again. I'm telling myself these things. Start out just doing a couple of sit-ups. And like I said, I know as we get older, we get stiff and we're just not able to do what we used to do, especially as far as exercise goes. But whatever part of your body you can use and use well, use it or lose it. Nothing sure has ever been spoken. If you don't lose it, you're gonna or use it, you're gonna lose it. I feel like I'm just having to start all over completely again. And then, I get in these thought modes. It's like, why bother? Why go get that job? I'm not going to be able to do it. And, this and that, by the time I'm trying to save up to get my own house and, my health fails and I've got to spend this and that on doctors and medication and negativity just comes flooding in. And I know you can't help it when all you've had is bad shit happen to you for years, right in a row. It's like, come on, give me that one little, just throw me a line here, give me one little thing to look forward to and be happy about. And there's a lot of times that I will sit and it takes me a while to think of something. I always refer to my children. I'm thankful my kids are healthy and my grandkids, and they're doing well right now. That in itself helps me, knowing that my babies are okay. My cats have even gotten sick here lately. My Jesse, he's getting old. And he's, had blood coming out in his stool. I've done a lot of research on that. It could be irritation. It could be a lot of things, just like in the human body. If you look at every disease, they have a lot of the same symptoms, and it can scare the hell out of you if you're not careful. So, and I've just been through all this with Lexi, my little black cat, taking her back and forth to the doctor because her lungs are terrible. Got some kind of fungal infection. So everything around me has not been that good. And it just, I know that they're not going to be around forever. Unfortunately, that's something we as pet owners go through. More than likely we're going to outlive them. And I went for years without having one because I can't stand it when they go. I can't, it really bothers me. But I do the best I can right now of trying to take care of them. And then myself and my mental health. Um, it's almost been too much, you guys. It really has. I mean, I'm a pretty tough old gal, but it just seemed like bam, bam, bam. I just kept getting bombarded. Well, I decided that I'm truly going to try healing my mind first. We're gonna do little steps, and I'm not gonna put stipulations on me. I'm not gonna set a limit. I'm not gonna set these high ass goals to achieve like I have done my whole life. When you set goals, set them reasonably. Start out stair steps. Start low and then get bigger. It's like, okay, well, I've done that. Let's see if I can do this. Um, and that's even use your craft. Use the craft. That's what it's for. Um, it can be so helpful and healing. Talk to your goddess. Sit at your altar. Take those cleansing baths. That's what they're for. Ground. Now it's in my neck of the woods anyway. It's about to be springtime. It's gonna smell pretty again. It's gonna look pretty again. Go barefooted and stick your feet in the dirt. Sit out there. Um, it's my favorite time of year. Now, granted, I have always had a little bit of seasonal depression. Um, I just don't like the cold months. I've just never been a winter person. I know that the season has to take place. I mean, and for why it does and all that. It doesn't mean I have to like it. um, I'm pretty cold natured. I don't like the cold. I don't like having to put on uh, 3 shirts and leggings under my pants and a coat and all that just to go outside. uh, but that's just the way it is, and it's that way with anything in life. You adapt, right? Okay, so I lost a battle. Um, to me, I lost a lot of my own independence. Um, I don't like having to depend on people. Um, I've never really been able to. Um, I guess when you don't feel as self-sufficient as you used to be, that gets you too. And then, guys, I thought, okay, how do you think those people in the nursing homes feel? Um, we're taught when we first go in, and as nurses aides, to you have to also understand the thinking and the changes that your residents are going through, you know. And here lately, I've been thinking, oh my gosh, I understand. Um, they don't have their own independence anymore. They can't just get up and go to the bathroom whenever they want. They have to pull their call out. and wait on somebody to come help them. And then you wonder why they're depressed, you know. That's why in that field it's very important to maintain their dignity, to help them as much as you possibly can, but yet let them still do whatever they can for themselves. Not because you're being a bitch and saying, no, I know you can walk, do it. No, it's because the more they can do for themselves, the better they will feel about themselves, which, as I was saying, brings the rest into check. Um, so it's been right there in front of my face this whole time. But all I can do is sit around and have all this regret and think I'm ugly now, and I don't, um, and feeling worthless because you're not bringing in a paycheck. Um, don't be so hard on yourself, you know. And these are the things that I keep telling me. um, Quit being so hard on yourself. You're your own worst enemy, and we all are. You know, I don't care what anybody else thinks about me. I really don't. I never have. But I get to the point to where I'm so disappointed in myself. It's like, okay, your whole life went to hell. Now you're going to look like shit too. Come on, you know? You got to stop doing that. Little steps, baby steps. Do something every day to make you feel good. Don't feel guilty about it. You don't have to spend any money on it. There's so many things that don't cost a dime. And the sugar and the honey, a lot of people don't keep honey. It really doesn't cost that much. You have the World Wide Web, billions of ideas floating around out there. You can find one. I realize that some people don't have the internet. For those people, read books. It doesn't cost you anything to get a library card and go to the library. If you're desperate enough or stubborn enough, whichever one you want to use. I'm stubborn enough. I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of waking up every day and going, ugh, here we go again. And guys, that's how I've been feeling. And I'm not putting this out there for sympathy. I don't want sympathy. Understanding, yes. Sympathy, no. And quite possibly there's many, many others out there that feel the same way. And once again, people think, well, you're a witch, change it. I'll snide like, we're human. We are also human. It's like any other tool. It's just a tool that we can use. We can't just poof, automatically we're skinny again. Poof, automatically our hormones are back to normal. Whatever. It's just not that simple. Magic occurs in many forms, many ways. It can take seconds and it can take years. I just had a major thought and it was really good and it just went away. See what I do? I know some of y'all do it too. So here's the game plan. If y'all want to come along with me on my journey, that's fine. If you want to go on it with me, that's fine. I have been researching. Oh, and I knew I should have wrote that doctor's name down. I'll probably think of it here in a minute, but he's on YouTube. And, I was flipping through here because, I watch a lot of documentaries and what have you. And all of a sudden, poof, there was right in front of me, this doctor talking about these weight loss things, and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, it's something he's selling, or they'll just talk about, well, you want to do this and you want to do that, and you watch through the whole video thinking that they're going to tell you what this product is, and then they don't tell you. They have you go to another site, and then you have to pay, and it's ridiculous. So I was waiting on, that to happen, but it didn't. He came straight on there. He said, this is what you do, and it's healthy for you, and blah, blah, blah. So evidently, and I have heard about this before, and I've probably talked about it on here before, but apple cider vinegar is like the new wonder herb in liquid form. And probably always has been. It's just people had forgotten about it or whatever. But I've known of people that have used it a lot for, several years now that they told me about it. And I just never used it. But evidently it's very good for weight loss. I got some, and see, guys, whenever whenever we cast our spells, when we're enchanting our herbs, and in kitchen witchery, when we're cooking, you enchant those herbs also. You put that intention in them herbs whenever you put them in your food, to help your family, to make your family happy and their moods good, and for health, wealth, and abundance. Abundance is many things, love and joy and money, friends, your friendships, your everything. It's abundance. So we do that when we cook our meals, right, for our family. Well, you do the same with anything else. If you make these tinctures, as I call them, I just wrote down these ones that seem to be recurring in all the recipes that I found. Now, these are including with your apple cider vinegar, okay? Of course, garlic. We all know garlic, and we all use garlic for protection is my main thing. Honey, which is a natural sweetener. It'll, knock the taste down of a lot of this stuff, and it's good for you. It's a very good antimicrobial, antibacterial. It's got a lot of very good qualities in it. Lemon and ginger. And when I say ginger, I mean the ginger root. Go to the store and get your ginger root. Shred it like you would, if you was making hash browns. And you can cook it in your food. Raw garlic. The powdered garlic's good too, but your garlic cloves are better. You can just, and please don't eat them. Now they have the minced garlic that's already jarred up, and it's, sitting in its oils, and people cook with that, and it cooks down enough that it's pretty edible. But if you've ever bitten into a clove of garlic, you probably won't do it again. It doesn't taste as good as it smells, and it's just, I love garlic, and that to me is just awful. It's a really bad taste, and it's hot. It's a lot hotter than you would think. It seemed like to me it would be in the raw turnip family if you've ever eaten a raw turnip, except it's hotter and it's more bitter. Anyway, so whenever you cook it down, you can mix all these things in with a tincture. Gosh, I wish I'd have wrote his name down. You can put all these together or implement them in your salads. Olive oil is one of the best things you can put in your body, for many reasons. I'm not going to go into every single detail about these. You can research them and see what I'm talking about. Cinnamon helps in weight loss. I've gotten to where I will put a half a teaspoon or so of ground up cinnamon in my tea, you know, after I've already boiled it and poured it in my cup. I will put it with, and in fact, I mixed a whole bunch of cinnamon in with my sugar, which I've tried honey in my tea, to be honest, because I tried to go the more natural way, but it just doesn't do it for me. I like honey, but I eat it like on different things. I don't deal with it in my tea very well. Black pepper. Black pepper is excellent for you, and these aren't just antioxidants. They help clean out your arteries, which is so important. Believe you me, I wish I would have known that my arteries were getting clogged. I would have saved myself a heart attack. Um, but I eat pepper my whole life. I love pepper. I used to, by the time I was done putting it on my mashed potatoes, they were almost black because I love pepper. Cayenne pepper is good for that also, for declogging or unclogging your pipes, as I like to call them. Chia seeds have been found to do a lot of good in your system. Um, you can mix all this stuff together, like I said, or just use it. Everybody uses black pepper on your food, right? Put some black pepper on it. Throw a little bit of cayenne pepper on something. Not enough that it has to burn your face off or make your food taste like crap, but it's in there. Your clove vinegar. Um, you can put 1 clove of vinegar in anything you're cooking. Your hamburger meat. Chop it up. I guess you can if you want, but it seems to me you can just saute it around in with your hamburger meat, and then after you're done, when your hamburger meat's done, you can take what's left of that clove of garlic out. There's all different ways, but try implementing just a little bit of these health foods, and believe you me, I know this right here. My downfall. One of my biggest things, and will be the hardest if I have to get rid of it. I probably never will get rid of it, but I do know, well, that and this. These are really the only 2 extremely bad habits I have right here. Okay. I have gone, like, I woke up one day and said, okay, I'm going to drink my pop the first thing in the morning because that is just what I've always done, and it's my coffee, whatever. But it is so bad for me in so many ways, and I drink it all day long. So I said, I'm not going to do it today. I'm going to drink this one. I'm only going to drink X amount of pops today. I think I put my number at 3, and I spaced them out. After about 6 hours of not having a pop, y'all would not believe the headache I got. Yeah. Caffeine withdrawals. After I looked it up, your body can get extremely used to that caffeine, and it will cause a major headache if you don't have it. What's ironic is that there's a medication that they give, and even in the medical field, they'll tell you caffeine's good for headaches. If you have a migraine and you're not at the point to where it's actually making you throw up, eat some chocolate. It'll help that migraine. This is what doctors have told me. But yet it can also throw you into, withdrawal from it and give you a headache. You know what I mean? Kind of a catch-22, isn't it? So it took me a little bit to figure that out, but after a couple of days, and I started noticing, well, after, an hour or so after I drank my pop, my headache goes away. Yeah. buy grape juice. Try to drink grape juice. Wonderful antioxidant. Very, very good for you for so many reasons. And I'm talking about the real grape juice, not the grape flavored drinks and not your Crystal Light packages and that you pour in your water. At least it'll get you to drink water, but it's not grape juice. Um, there's just so many things that you can do, and try to exercise no matter what you do. I don't care if you can't get up and walk. Sit in the chair and raise your legs up and down, or sit here and do this with your arms. Movement, kinesiology, you know, move, keep them joints going, and um, I'm gonna do this too, guys. I really am, because I honestly sit on this computer all the time because there's nothing else to do. I don't have any money to go anywhere and do anything. Um, it's been cold. Who wants to go out driving around looking at dead trees and dead grass? No one. Or go sit at the lake. No one. Um, then there's the thing of having putting gas in your car so you can get to these places. Not me. I save my gas as possible to get to Walmart if I need something, or go to the doctor, or it's just a never ending shitstorm, it seems. But it's going to get better, right? It's going to be okay, and I'm going to make sure of it. I'm tired of being unhappy. Nobody should live this way. Nobody should be depressed, and it's horrible. Ugh. I can honestly see why a lot of people commit suicide. Um, Fight it. Say, no, I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be healthy, and I'm going to be whatever it takes to get me there. Now, I'm not saying go step on everybody else's feelings and steal, and that don't make you happy. That makes you a parasite. Nobody wants to be a parasite. So, anyway, start healing that mind. Do things, meditate, listen to music that makes your mind and soul happy. Be around people that motivate you. I can't stress that enough. Search really hard. Sometimes it does take searching to find something that relieves your tension or gives you hope. That's what you need. You need that hope. You need that gumption of energy. Um, and it all begins up here. And if you're not putting healthy things in your body, then your organs can't function. Everything turns to just a negative black energy blob. And it's toxic. It's poisonous. And you have to get it out of your system. However, use your craft. This is what the craft is for. And it is wonderful. I got to where I'm just, ashamed to go in front of my goddess. I feel like I failed her because I failed myself. So therefore, she is in me. So I also failed her. Once again, beating myself up. And I know she's not sitting there going, ew, you're terrible. You're a bad witch. You're not a good example, blah, blah, blah. She's not saying all that to me. I am. She's waiting on me. Okay. Whenever you get ready to stop beating yourself up, then come talk to me. We'll work this out. My personality is just like that. It always has been. If I feel like I failed at something, I'm just beside myself. It's like, how could I fail at that? This is what I'm telling y'all. When you start on this path, you never know where it's going to take you, where you'll end up. You're going to fall. Oh, definitely. You can. that is something you can count on. You're going to fall down. The challenge is getting back up. And I'm starting to reawaken now, and it feels wonderful. I feel hope coursing through my veins again. I'm not going to say I've let go, but I'm trying really hard to let go of the past, and not so much that I don't remember it and learn from it, but so I don't cling to it, and so it doesn't. It's too much weight. It's too much weight to keep trying to drag along with me. You have to drop that shit off. It has to be off of you, or the journey gets even heavier. And as you walk, you get heavier, and you just cannot carry it all. So you have to get rid of things, and I'm trying so hard to do that. I'm awful about it. I know. As I said, I'm not perfect. I'm definitely not perfect. So maybe y'all can do this with me. Everybody does these little challenges. Let's do a major one. Let's heal our minds and get to where we think we need to be and deserve to be in our lives, no matter what age we are. There's different ages and different stages. I didn't really realize that till now, how distinctive they are. With me, and a lot of women my age, men kind of go to the wayside. Sorry, guys. But unless you've been married for 30 years and you've had a happy marriage, that's wonderful. But those of us that most of our relationships were just shit storms, it's not that pleasant of a memory to look back on, is it? So as we get older, we think, well, what do we need them for? Our sex drive, libido, to put it in a better term, I guess, goes down. It goes up. I don't know how, but it does. Hormones. And then there's some of us that just don't care to go through that mess again. And we can support ourselves and, pay our own bills and aren't interested in sex anymore. So why have one around, right? Just a thought process. I mean, however you're feeling once you hit, above, I guess this would be considered above middle age, right? We have to adjust. We have to kind of relearn everything all over again. Like me with being overweight. I never in my life thought I'd hear a doctor tell me to lose weight. That is just something I never thought I'd hear in my lifetime. But here it happened. I mean, I'm not 2-ton Tilly, but I didn't think I'd be this heavy. I mean, who's to say if I don't get off my dead ass and do something about it now, I could get bigger. And the bigger you get, the harder it is to lose it. And it could be a metaphor with anything in your life, your mental health. That mental health is extremely important, and it's really important in your craft. If, once again, if you don't have your mental stability, you cannot practice your craft correctly. A lot of people may disagree with me, but how can you? If your mind's all over the place and everywhere, how the hell are you going to cast a spell? You can't get those words out right. You can't put that intention in if you can't focus. You have to be able to focus. So you have to take care of your mind. All of it. It's one package. It's a package deal. Protect your energy. Watch your surroundings. Watch what goes in your body. To where, I'm not saying that you have to become some damn health nut. That's no fun. But I wish there was a lot of things, this right here for one. I love it. That's my drink. That's what I drink every day, all day, and have for years. I know it's not good for me, you know, as I take a drink. So, what can we do about it? Um, a lot of people are too busy. I do understand that. I used to work all the time, I was constantly working. And you would think that that right there would help me lose weight. It didn't because it's not, I wasn't going at a nonstop movement for a certain period of time. I get really busy for an hour or two and then stop. And it wasn't constant walking without stopping. It's more busy up here than here, you see. And then by the time I got home, who the hell wants to exercise? Nobody. Because you've just worked a 12-hour shift. You're tired as hell, mentally tired, you're physically tired. You want to exercise, but you got to make that paycheck, right? Days off. What do? Okay, well, now's your time to go to the grocery store, to clean your house. Um, when do you find time for you? You have to make that time, or I promise you, it's going to catch up with you. And it's so much, prevention is so much easier than trying to cure. If you prevent it, you don't have to worry about it. The cure is a lot harder. Trust me. Um, and I know I can sit here and talk Tom Blue in the face, but it's like with anything else. You can tell people and try to help, and they're going to do whatever they want to do anyway. Um, I think I do this more for my benefit than anything, if the truth be told, because it helps me when it's like speaking your spell. When you put out those good thoughts, when you send those spells out openly into the universe, then you create, right? Same as saying something out loud. You can think all day long, okay, when I get up in the morning, I'm going to eat a bowl of oatmeal. Okay, something as trivial as that. You just don't understand how healthy that oatmeal is for you. Just, I don't care if you like it, eat a little bit of oatmeal. Eat a tiny half a bowl of oatmeal every day, and you'd be surprised how much that will help your entire body. It doesn't take that much out of your day. It doesn't cost anything hardly at all for a big thing of oatmeal. It's the little things. You don't have to sit there and say, "Okay, tomorrow I'm going to do this." Bam, bam, bam. No. Start out with a little bowl of oatmeal. Go slow. Don't overwhelm yourself, because that's when you give up. That's when you quit. When you say, okay, I'm in the morning, I get up, I'm going to eat a bowl of oatmeal. You probably will do that. If you sit and you think, you go from the bowl of oatmeal to, then I'm going to go out and walk, around the block one time. And then after that, I'm going to go take this shower. Don't plan your whole day. It's okay to plan, but what happens if you're a perfectionist like me and you don't uh, abide by that plan? You're going to be disappointed in yourself at the end of the day. Instead of being proud that you did get up and you ate that damn bowl of oatmeal, you might not have did anything else good the rest of the day, but you ate that bowl of oatmeal. Do you see where I'm coming from? And I say this because I do it. I do it. I do it so much. And laughter. Laugh at yourself. No, I just cannot stress how important it is not to be so hard on yourself, because you're your own best friend, and you can damn sure be your own worst enemy. Um, it can really be that simple. Uh, No, there's a lot of us that aren't where we think we should be in our life, witches or not. Sometimes things just don't go our way, and they don't go our way for a very long time. um, you kind of learn to roll with the flow of it, and you almost prepare yourself to the point of being very pessimistic about things. And I know I do too, because it's like, okay, um, everything's going so good right now, and I'm so happy. Take a deep breath. It's like, okay, I made it through another storm. Um, and then you automatically, do you not start bracing yourself? Oh man, I wish I hadn't. I had that good thought, because if I have a good thought, there's going to be a million more bad behind it. Now I have ruined it. Do y'all not think that way? I know I do. um, Try not to think that way. Enjoy the good times while they're here, and know that you're going to have bad times, but be prepared for them. As y'all know, I referred to tornadoes a lot, and there's so many reasons that tornadoes are so metaphorically correct in my life, because I'm walking around picking flowers one day, everything's just fine, my job's going good, my bills are getting paid, me and the man are getting along good. Poof, the very next day a storm hits. It's like, oh my God, wasn't prepared for that, wasn't planning on that. Everything's wrecked. There's nothing left but destruction. So what do? Do you sit in the middle of that destruction and go, oh my God, and cry? Yeah, probably. Then you probably do that for a little while. Get back up, clean it up. And you may have to do this throughout your life, you know, and it doesn't matter what challenge it is. Like me with my weight, I'm going to show y'all. Okay, here I go. I'm fixing to do exactly what I said I wasn't going to do. See how I am. Okay, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. Y'all will watch me. I'm not going to set a time limit to lose my weight. I'm not going to uh, set a strict exercise regimen and diet, and I'm not going to spend hours planning all this. I'm just going to wake up every day, and as I go throughout the day, make better choices. Okay? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Uh, I'm not going to say I'm going to come on here every day. I would like to, but I honestly run out of things to say, and I don't want to bore people. I love coming on here chatting if anybody's ever on here to chat, but I'm usually on way too early in the morning or late at night. But uh, we can do little updates. Maybe y'all can do this with me. Whatever you need to fix in your own well-being, and then clue me in on what you're doing with yourself. If you want to lose weight, if you want to get mentally better, whatever your goal is, whatever your challenge is, it's a lot better when you have people working with you, right? Or you have people on the same wavelength. It helps you. Um, I don't know. It gives you power. It gives you the want to when you work together, even if it's virtual. You know, it's always important to have that support. You know, and I really need to do it. I need to do it for many reasons. I have heart issues, so putting on weight is not good for me. Um, and I'll tell y'all another thing: as you get older, watch that damn salt. Man, I am a salt eater. I love salt. I put it on everything before I even taste it. One thing I have found that you can use is that Mrs. Dash. Use other herbs to that are better for you, you know, other than the salt. If you like your food, you know, I'm a spiceaholic. I do over salt all my stuff. I've tried to watch that in my cooking because I don't want to poison everybody else. I have high blood pressure, um, and here lately, because of non-movement and a lot of salt intake, I have edema in my feet and my ankles, which causes even more. And you know, I'm not comfortable. It makes it harder to walk. If it's harder to walk, you know, that cuts down on mobility. It's like a chain reaction. If your mobility cuts down, then there's weight gain. Weight gain means water gain. Water gain means water and weight gain means more pressure on your arteries and your heart. It's a non-stop shit pile, is what it is. So if you take away the salt, then you take away all this other stuff. Don't eat ham. If you have a problem with edema, do not eat pork. Simple as that. And I love pork. I like ham steaks for breakfast in the morning. I like ham and cheese omelets. I love broiled pork chops with onions on them and in mushroom soup. Now that I'm at that age and the condition of my heart, I am not supposed to eat that stuff. And I know it. And I do it anyway and then bitch and moan because my feet swell up. Okay, well, you knew you shouldn't have eaten that ham. You did it anyway. You got what you deserve. Now you're going to walk around all day on big feet, swelled up feet. You're going to be uncomfortable because you ate that ham anyway. Huh? We know better and we do it anyway. I don't know. I mean, what other signs do you need, you know? Uh, it's going to take some work, but I'm going to try this too. I'm not ever going to say that I'm completely going to quit this because I'll probably be doing it till I die. Um, it's part of the reason that of all my other health issues, but I do it anyway. Doesn't mean I can't cut way the hell down on it. Um, I love it so much, so yeah. Hi, Aiden. I lost 50 pounds all thanks to witchcraft. I know. Yeah, and I that's why I did this video because you know it's so hard. You know, you can tell everybody else what you know is best, but it's so hard when you do it yourself. And it's like you're magic, Lady Adara. You know, why can't you get this done? It's up here. So do you feel better now, Aiden? You do, don't you? You feel like all this toxic blob and mass is gone off your body and you have more energy, right? I'm so glad you're on here. I was kind of worried about you. I know you're a big boy. You can take care of yourself, but I was still kind of worried. Well, I'm going to try. I'm going to try really hard, guys. And I need to get back into my, you know, when your mental health isn't right, as I always say, I don't even bother uh, going to my altar. What am I going to do? Sit there and whine? That's what I do. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing every once in a while. Go to her, go to your goddess or your god and, say, look, I need some help. I can't do this myself. I was joking, but I do think witchcraft can help support. Well, shoot, yeah, it can. It can help with anything. It is our life. It's our lifestyle if you're a witch. There's nothing that you do in everyday life that can apply to witchcraft. You know, I live it, breathe it, and why I'm in these predicaments, I don't know. I don't know, but I got to do something. I love you too, sweetie. I'm so glad you said hello. I was worried about you. Good night. But yeah, I mean, and it's with each individual. If you're happy, if you've always been bigger, more than likely you don't even think about it. I can tell you, depending on how big you are, it's not healthy. Um, the more weight you have, the more mass you have, the harder your heart has to pump blood to that tissue to keep it alive, to keep it nourished, and it's more work on your heart. If you have fluid buildup, it can drown you. It drowns your cells that maintain healthy body function. Um, get it off if you can. Um, I do realize a lot of it is hereditary. More than likely, if your mom and dad and your grandma and grandpa are overweight, you're probably going to be. Um, to me, that's just a red flag saying, okay, do your best to avoid it. Do your best to, and those parents, if they know they're overweight, teach your kids healthy eating habits when they're young. Make sure they're active. Try to nip it in the bud, and it may be a nonstop battle to keep weight off, and some are just more prone to gaining it than others. It's like with anything else, with any other health condition you may have. If you have asthma, you know, no, you can't run and play with those other kids, unfortunately. That's just the way it is. If you know you're going to be prone to gaining a whole lot of weight, don't eat that pizza. Don't eat that cheesecake. Teach your kids healthy habits while they're young so they can possibly avoid major critical health conditions as they get older. Um, no, not everything's 100%, but you can do the best that you can to avoid it, you know. Um, I don't know. And I know people that, have never smoked a cigarette in their life. They don't drink. They literally exercise and run every day and still have heart attacks, you know, still develop cancer. And the alcoholic over here that wakes up and drinks a fifth of whiskey before noon, don't tell them what they do after that. They never have a health problem other than possibly high blood pressure or liver disease, right? It's almost like a lottery, All we can do is try to do the best we can, try to be healthy. Excuse me. Try to be active. And above all else, try to keep our scruples about us, try to keep from going crazy, or feel like you are. Um, it's not easy. I know this world, and especially the way it is nowadays. I mean, I like to say, don't watch the news. Don't Be careful what you watch online. But hiding from things isn't going to help it go away. Isn't going to help you deal with it. It's going to affect you in some shape, form, or fashion. It's better to meet it head on and deal with it than trying to outrun it or avoid it, because you're probably not going to. That's why I don't agree with these parents that keep these, certain things away from their kids. I mean, even the smallest little thing. They don't want them to see that person get shot on that movie, or, I understand. I'm not talking about the main things, like the sex and blah, 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 blah. But you cannot sugarcoat everything for them. You can't put them in this bubble, and when they get out on their own, how are they going to live? How are they going to socialize? How are they going to be able to adapt? Which is very important in being an adult in the work field, with your own family. You can't hide them from everything and then throw them out there and they see all this. It's like, they've been in Alice in Wonderland all their lives, and all of a sudden, poof, they're thrown in with Freddy Krueger. How are they going to deal with him? They're going to panic. They're going to freak out. They're not going to know how to deal with it. Part of being a parent, yes, you protect your children, but don't shelter them so much that they aren't prepared and don't know how to protect themselves from the real world, because it's out there and you're not going to be around forever. How are they going to be able to manage, their lives if they think it's all about sheltering? It's not. It's about getting out there, knowing it's there, and learning how to protect yourself from it. That's your job as a parent. Protect them when they're little, but prepare them for when they leave the nest to be able to fly on their own. There's so much. And nowadays it's even worse. I mean, you're afraid to even send your kids off to college so they can better themselves because there's some weirdo sitting in the chair next to them in their classroom. You never know about people. You have to be able to look for signs, and some of them have no signs. It's a shame that we just have to be wary of all people that we don't know. It's hard to be good to your neighbor anymore. Society has made it hard to be good to your neighbor. You want to help people. You want to bring them in your home off the street and give them something to eat and a nice hot bath and a safe place to sleep that night. And that's okay to do. If that person's not going to kill you while you're sleeping because they care more about that next drug that they can go out and buy the next day and what they can steal from you. It's a shame that we have to think about things like that, instead of our first and foremost thought being help that person, help them get back on their feet. And, unfortunately, there's that 1 out of 100 people that really need that help up. And that if one person would just stop and say, okay, I'll help you, it may open up a whole new world to them. It may give them that last little bit of hope, that little thread they needed to cling to fight, be able to come back and fight back. The problem is, you've got the other 99 that if you invite them in their home, they could very easily just kill you or rob you blind, or wait till they learn your schedules, and then they bring all their other friends and rob you blind while you're not at home. Yeah. That's what makes it so hard to be good nowadays to other people, or so inviting or caring. You see that person, you wonder about their story. I'm going to tell you, when I lived in California, I come from a little bitty small town in Texas. We didn't have people sitting around on the sidewalks. Just, you never seen it. So when I went to Anaheim, California, and via Los Angeles, and went down the Sunset Strip, even, you know, um, in Beverly Hills and in Hollywood, I never seen anything so trashy in my life. Honestly, it was just trashy. People that I seen on TV, people living in boxes on Sunset Boulevard, down the Sunset Strip. There was a McDonald's on there. This was years and years ago. That I wouldn't have eaten in if I'd have been starving plumb to death, because it just, the clientele around it, the people that worked there looked horrible. They didn't look clean. The place didn't look clean. The whole damn street looked horrible. It's like, really? This is what everybody talks about? Yuck. You know? Um, and I had never seen people actually in person living that way. Um, and you do wonder about their story. You do wonder, well, what if I helped them? You know, yeah, I'll give them this $5. Are they going to go get them something to eat? Or are they going to go buy another bottle, another pill? You know, it's sad when we lose our want to help because of the way other people have done us in our past, Um, and it's a shame for those people that really needed the help and didn't get it because somebody else done that to you in the past. You see what I'm saying? Anyway, I'll quit rattling on, but it's just my late night thoughts and a small goal that I've set for myself. See, I have to really work not to do that, because I was going to say, okay, in 3 months from today, put a date on it. Let's see how much weight I've lost and how I'm doing and how I'm feeling. But that would be putting a time on me, right? Or maybe I should set it. What y'all think? Think I will. Ah, that's going to be the hardest. That and my cigarettes. Um, and the thing is, I always, here lately, since I've actually been putting on weight, gain more throughout the winter months than spring and summer, you know, because of inactivity. Um, and that's another thing, especially women, we're afraid to even go for walks anymore. Um, there's just so much out there. You want to go for a brisk walk around your neighborhood. Well, afraid of being abducted. Um, there's always loose dogs running around that people aren't keeping chained up, that are not very nice dogs. And I don't know how many people just out walking, have been attacked and killed by loose dogs. Little things. But see where my mind goes? It's not, okay, well, there's a chance that might happen, but there's probably a bigger chance that it won't happen. But that's just the mode my brain's been in lately. And I have to really work on that. It's going to take time. Um, I've always been kind of negative just because that's the way my whole damn life's been. Not a whole lot works out okay for me. But I have to try to struggle through it, and I'm very thankful for you guys that I can come on here and talk to you and vent, and I don't feel so alone. I know I have my witchy family, and I'm so thankful for them. They're awesome. But we're going to do this. And yes, I am going to say, okay, all right, I'm fixing to go weigh myself right now. Okay, it's 3 a.m. on, 3:15 on March 27th. Okay. All right. I'm going to go weigh. I'll be right back. Anything else in the fucking house, it's gonna be goddamn chore shit piled up there again. Okay, so I'm putting this on my calendar. My pretty little calendar. Okay. We're going to be happy. We're not worried about how we look right now. We're taking care of this. Okay? Right here. Deep breath, and we're happy. We're alive. We're okay. We have options. Okay? So, now, today is the 27th. 170 pounds. Whew. I said that out loud. 170 pounds. £170. Wow. All right. That's what we got to deal with. 170. Okay. So, what we're going to do, what I'm going to do. Now, if y'all want to do this with me, more power to you. If you don't, you've got to decide up here, as with anything else, what you want to do. Okay. That's what you need to do. That's what's going to be more healthy for you, but you got to get it up here first. I ain't making you do nothing. I'm just telling you, you'll be happier, healthier if you get rid of it. And I don't care. Don't say that. Don't say, I'm not going to sit here and say, okay, we're going to come back here on April 27th. Okay. For this. And I'm going to see how much I weighed. How much I weigh. I'm not going to weigh again till then. I'm not going to fret about it. This first month, I'm just going to be more conscious of my decisions throughout the day on what I'm doing and try to be more active. That's a start. Okay. If that's working in a month when I weigh, I don't care if I've just lost 2 pounds. It's okay. I hope it's more, but you don't want to lose it too quickly either. It's not healthy for you. It's something, and then the next month you can add or subtract or do things more. And, if If you want to lose, let's say I'm going to lose a little more this month, then adjust your routine even more. Figure out, you don't have to be uncomfortable, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And it doesn't have to be a major thing. Don't go and have a nervous breakdown over, oh my God, I didn't lose that 5 pounds. You lost 2. Okay. Better than 0. Go easy on yourself. And that's what I'm going to try to do. So, also little things like, God, y'all, I've gotten real bad about not even putting on makeup. I mean, why? A lot of it was at the beginning because I couldn't see very well. And now I've got me a mirror that magnifies and I see a lot better to put my face on. I just didn't want to waste the makeup just to sit around the house with my makeup on. But I feel better when my hair's done and my makeup's on, and so be it. If that makes me feel better to sit around the house like that, I guess I will. I guess I'll do it. Little things. Make you a face scrub. There's another thing in your craft you can do, which is already know how to make this stuff. Make it. Use it. I'm going to try really hard. I mean, I don't have all my herbs out like I would like. We ain't going there. I've already been depressed about that. But there's everyday things you can use in your cabinets that you use every day in cooking. Like I said, your sugar and your honey, perfect exfoliant. Some people will make a whole bunch of it and set it in the refrigerator and keep it so it's already ready to use. I prefer to make it as I go. Cuts down on waste. Just make what you're going to use at that time. Your eating habits, aromatherapy. I can't stress that enough. This is so good for me. Light your incense. If you have breathing issues like me, maybe, being around all that smoke isn't that great. Open a window if it's warm enough. There's many other ways. There's other ways of putting out the scent. There's candles that, don't put out that much smoke that it would affect you that terribly, boil stuff. If you have herbs, cinnamon, cloves, and star anise, I swear by them. Get a couple of those, put them in a pot of water on the stove and boil them. That puts out a beautiful smell in your house. Hey, John. Yeah, I know. I won't go into it all again. I'm just kind of rambling tonight, but yeah, I explained all that earlier, and just trying to, get back to living again, I guess you could say. I was talking about my weight loss or going to lose weight. And getting, healthy in my mind again. What have you been doing? I've already been on here almost 2 hours. Awesome. 1st of April, though? Wow. Seems like a odd time to be starting school. I've thought about going back. I've sat here and thought about a lot of things. That's all I've done is sit and think about. And whine because I'm old now. In the crone stage. What am I going to do with myself now? Online school. Oh, okay. Oh, you go online. Boy, that would take a lot of uh, self-control, self-discipline, wouldn't it? Doesn't it? I've thought about doing that, but I don't know if I could. I'm not good enough with computers to, I don't know. To me, I do better in the classroom. You know what I mean? Speaking of, I think it's tomorrow. Yeah, Wednesday. I need to get a CEU done. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have that much discipline, I guess. If I'm left to my own devices and I sit here and have to study on my own, and my mind would eventually drift and I'd be going, what am I going to make for dinner? Before I know it, I'm up off the computer. I'm not studying or doing my lessons, and I'm in there cooking. I'm just that type of person. I'm scatterbrained. I'm all over the place. I'm a multitasker. Although I used to listen to my continuing education programs on my computer as I cooked or something, cleaned. But that was like through a lecture or something like that. It wasn't something that I really needed to take notes on or. Y'all ain't going to know what to do with me when I come on here and my hair all down and my face on. How y'all are going to swear it down. It's a whole new person. Like I said, I'm just concentrating on being happy now. The looks will come later. Right now, it's inside. It's in here. What are you studying, John? Or do you have I just went blank, a major? I had thought about not renewing my nursing stuff, but I think I will. There's no sense in just letting it, my major is business. Oh, cool. Yeah, there's no use in just letting it fall to the wayside all these years of doing it and having it, and just to throw it away would be kind of dumb. It takes a lot less to keep it than it would to have to go back and do it all over again after I'm expired for so long. Oh, I hate sitting in them classes though. I just don't like it. Boring. But it's got to be done. It's really all about money, nurses. And you make sure you pay the teachers, and you got to make sure you pay the state to work, is what you're doing. I don't know. I guess they feel it's some kind of organization to possible chaos. I don't know, but I find school to be antithetical to learning. Even the International Finance Corporation agrees. Case studies have shown that traditional schooling actually slows down learning. Oh, you think so? Huh. Yeah, I don't know how I do it really. I mean, I think I know me well enough to, I don't know. Because even in the classroom, it's easy for your mind to travel, especially if you're not that interested in the subject. Now, if it's something that really interests me, I'm on it. You can't even divert my attention. But if it's something that I think's irrelevant or I'll never use, which a lot of it is, I'm sorry, but a lot of this stuff nobody will ever use in the rest of their lifetime. But we got to keep teachers employed. They got to have something to teach. Studies have shown that the number one contributing factor to the literacy of any given individual is literacy. Well, I can see where that might be, but I also know children that are parents that didn't go past the 8th grade that you know are doctors. I mean, you know, I understand that's why we do these studies, but it doesn't mean that everybody participates either. They're not 100% accurate. I have a cousin that's a doctor, and his mama, I don't even think she got to the 8th grade. I think it just depends on the individual. And nowadays too, there's a lot more opportunities than there used to be. It's easier for children to go, or people to go to college. When used to, they didn't have all the financial aid and student loans and stuff that they do now. So it was extremely hard. And, most, if you were a farmer or rancher or whatever, you needed them to stick around and help you with um, their keep. They needed them on the farm to help with family business, as you might say. So a lot of them missed out. Or like my dad, my daddy, I was born and raised in the oil field. At friggin' 13 years old, I could probably tell you as much about that rig as the pumper or as the driller. I lived and breathed the oil field. I used to dry watch the rigs, and my daddy didn't go past the 8th grade, but he worked his way up to a pumper. Um, and then I went to college. In fact, I was the first person to actually go to college. I was the first person to graduate high school in my family in years. I don't even, I think one of my aunts graduated high school. But I think it also depends on each individual. Nowadays, I'm sorry to say that the newer generation could care less about education. Too busy running the streets. Yeah. And I have a daughter that um, graduated from college with I believe, an associate's in uh, juvenile justice or psychology or both, something like that. to be, she's going to be a counselor for juveniles, and she can't get a job because she didn't go on to, she doesn't have a bachelor's. She just has an associate's. But around here, and it depends on your town too, as far as getting your jobs go. I mean, most of these little bitty towns, they don't need uh, these people that, they don't have these jobs. Yeah. Yeah, she pretty much wanted to be an overall, like, a social worker, which you need psychology for that. Legal regulations usually. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they do. Because I think, when I was going to college, that was my major, was psychology, and a minor in sociology and government and politics, believe it or not. Boy, isn't that a bunch of isn't that a whirlwind of stuff? But I don't know. I just think a lot of that stuff you'll never use. And it's all about that 4 years, or at least 2 years of paying teachers and the universities and um, all that. So yeah, when everybody goes to online schooling, I wonder, wow, that's going to be different, huh? As far as society goes as a whole, that's going to be different. Because you also have all the other extracurricular activities like your band and your athletics and glee club, and all the sororities and fraternities and that are involved with going to college. I mean, if everybody studied at home, would those things still exist? Or I don't know. I don't know. But I hear about a lot of that online training. Online schooling is going to change everything. It will accelerate education and make it way cheaper. Yep. Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. Um, wow, that is just a huge umbrella. You know what I mean? That you do entirely miss out on. Yeah. Yeah. I think college, especially if you go right out of high school, it's almost like a stepping stone into adulthood. You really learn to use your social skills. You really start finding out who you are as an individual. Um, yeah, and all the partying. Uh, it's an experience, yeah, a very expensive one, and a lot of them, they get scholarships to play sports, and then from there go on to receive contracts with, professional teams, and that becomes their world, their life. I mean, I don't know. I know it might tick a lot of people off. I mean, sports, it's exactly what it is. It's an extracurricular activity, you know. These kids that, get passed on through high school and then go on to college and get passed through college with some sort of degree that they honestly never learned or never earned. And they most of them can't even write a paragraph correctly. They don't even know how to punctuate or put where a period goes. Can't read very well, but they can play football, or basketball, and it makes the college look good. So they slip through the cracks. I think nowadays, I love sports. I played sports my whole life in high school. But I kept my grades up too. But and once you get into the pros, it just grows from there. There's so much other involved. They don't care about that individual. They honestly don't. It's all about all the betting, all the money that the team brings in, and the status of the coach, and blah blah blah. It's just it's a whole business of its own. Is all. I mean, it definitely could cut down on a lot of stuff. And then there's going to be a lot of teachers out of work, professors, and um, just kind of like going to no fraternity party. I'm past all that. I've done that. Less than 1/3 of college grads in the U.S. are proficient in everyday math. Exactly. Yep. And they don't care, John. They don't. They're like, okay, well, it's your money. You know, if you don't want to learn, you're just wasting your own money. We don't care. I've had them tell me that. That's the way a lot of them professors think. It's like, well, you don't want to show up for class, I get paid whether you're here or not. The only thing is, some of them professors are um, very strict. I mean, I had my English, my freshman year, my English comp. Uh, I think if you dropped a letter grade every time you missed a day, unless you had something major going on. If, a doctor's note, for some reason you could not attend class, but you better have somebody come get your work. She was a stickler on attendance. And so was my psychology teacher. She'd drop you a letter grade. I mean, you could, do things throughout the semester to get that grade back up, but you still dropped. I have a mentor through my university. If I flunk out, she gets reprimanded. I feel extra pressure. I also feel lucky because there is no attendance. That way I can do out of state from home. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely would have no reason to ever miss a class, would you? You can just carry your class around with you. Well, and then what about, see how I think? What about if the internet goes down? What if you don't have internet somewhere, or something happens to where you can't get online? I mean, all your stuff, is stored in this little thing here. I mean, I know you could probably log in somewhere else and pull it back up if there's backup. Yeah. See, that's what, kind of scares me. It's like anything else, mankind becomes too dependent on technology, and just like spell correct. I remember when that came out. Well, hell, I remember when computers came out. But you're typing along and it'll spell correct you. You know, People don't know how to spell anymore. because they don't have to know. The computer does it for them, you know. Most kids nowadays can't tell you anything about history, which to me, history is kind of an iffy subject, but uh, that's a whole other ballgame, me. But yeah, everything's about technology. You can write 60 words a minute. I'll tell you, I wasn't. I'm not all that great of a speller either, but when I took medical terminology for my job, for what I do, um, it sure helped me. It's funny how I can't spell a tiny little word. I can spell these big, long medical words and tell you what they mean. But I might have to ask somebody how to spell psychology, some smaller word like that. The boss says he doesn't care about spelling, only typing. Speed prevails over accuracy, huh? Used to, when I took typing, it was speed and accuracy. You needed a lot of both. That's what I was saying. The computers fix it. All you have to do is, they've got these little buttons that you push and it corrects everything you do as you go. So punctuation and all that, people are forgetting actually how to do on their own. Without computers, we're going to be a bunch of dumbasses in the future. When people say computers are going to take over, a lot of people think of having a little robot running around your house, doing all your housework and blah, blah, blah. They don't realize it's right here in front of us. There's a computer in charge of our atomic bombs. That's scary. I want a computer in my brain powered by bioelectrical pulses, super intelligence. No, you don't. That would not be any fun. You would not be able to be human. All the wonderful things that go with being human, like depression and hunger and huh. Yeah, and what's going to happen if this computers go down and all this stuff is lost? How's mankind going to keep going if they can't even um, communicate with each other or teach somebody else how to do something and remember old ways? And we may have to go back to the basics one day. Actually, atom bombs are still guarded by a dude with a key. Yeah. Yeah, the president and all that. But in the long run, there's a computer keeping them things cooled off or heats them up or however they do it. Yeah, analog methods. That's what I'm saying. What happens if the computer goes haywire and, hits the right code just by chance? The internet was created by the United States Department of Defense as a fail-safe in case. Well, it's not going to it's not fail-safe. Nope. I don't think we should have them at all. That's another opened wound with me. They should not exist, period, for any reason in any country. If the grid gets wiped out, the internet issuers and means of communication. But how do you figure that it's going to ensure a means of communication? It requires electricity and airwaves. If we're in a nuclear blast, I assure you, there's not going to be any airwaves that aren't affected. Literally, life as we know it will cease to exist if that shit goes down. That is why I do not like them being anywhere on the face of the earth. They should not have ever been created. But they are. They're very, very well here. And they're, these nuclear power plants putting out billions of gallons of uh, pollution in our air every single second. Pathetic. Mankind's killing the planet slowly but surely because we're so freaking awesome. You have to remember you're talking to a witch. I'm very concerned about our earth. None of that should exist in my books. And even to destroy it right now, even if mankind came to their senses and said this is not the thing to be doing and tried to destroy them, how would you even destroy it? It's gonna pollute something somewhere, or we have all these barrels and barrels of toxic nuclear waste, that we just throw into the oceans to get rid of them. I mean, out of sight, out of mind, right? Until one of them pops open and starts killing our sea life. Exactly. But we can damn sure make her pretty sick. And she is pretty sick. All you have to do is look around. Mankind is just, I'm not going to mention any certain place, but there is a place I was traveling to virtually across seas where, all their waste products, their actual human waste, is been dumped in this river, and for all their water supply pretty much is ruined now because they weren't smart enough or couldn't actually follow the rest of the world and get plumbing and sewage responsibilities and keeping shit clean. They're poisoning themselves over there. It's just such a mess. Their water's polluted, and then they want everybody, the rest of the world, to help them. It's like, really? Are you that dumb that you didn't know that you can't shit in the same water you think you're going to drink? And it looks like a dump ground. Houses falling down around them, and I understand poorness, but find a tree and build a house. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, in Acre, they dump their sewage directly in the ocean. It's like, oh, see, that just makes me sick. Why would you want to go there? To be poisoned? I mean, unless you think you can help them or implement, some kind of safe sewage system. I mean, I realize we all have to go, as that commercial says, but I mean, damn, we're smart enough, figure it out. Africa was so nice before the multinational corporations showed up and annihilated all the national resources. I want to go clean up the mess. Well, that's awesome. I commend you for that. I wish more people, thought that way. I guarantee you, if I had the opportunity and was a little bit younger, I would have went on with, I'd have been a member in one of those organizations to clean up stuff. Yeah. Oh, it'll take so much though, and so much money. That's the problem. These people don't know how to generate money. What makes the world go around? They're way behind times, which, in some ways ain't so bad. It's kind of nice to see people right at the basics. But we learned hundreds and hundreds of years ago that keeping things clean and our environments clean helps, our health. The future generation is like, aw, thank you. Well, and I don't know that a lot of it's wisdom, it's just common sense. Come on. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that, if we kill our surroundings, we can't survive. We won't survive. Yeah, there's only so much, and we're already sending rockets and shit out into these other galaxies looking for other planets. Well, we might have to move to this one day. Well, stop destroying one that you're on. I mean, here's your sign. They can spend billions of dollars in rockets and fuel and the wages to astronauts to go and build all these little probes and shit that, will be out roaming around for 40 years out in space trying to find another planet. We have all this technology, clean up our own. We don't have to go anywhere. We need to fix the one we're on. Adhere to the principles of Mars. The stars are ours if we conquer them. Well, that's I guess that's I don't know how to put it, a good idea or whatever, but we're never going to conquer the stars. I mean, we're pretty smart in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, we're pretty damn dumb. We're watching death and destruction around us every day, and it's getting worse. And watching our planet die, but yet we're not doing anything about it. So to me, that's pretty damn dumb. And as far as the stars, I mean, my gosh, we're talking billions, way out of our concept. We can't even think that big. Our brains just will not compute that type of massive eternity-ish stuff. We should begin terraforming Earth in a Gaia-class planet. Well, like I said, you know how many billions and billions of dollars that shit costs? If they have all that money to spend on that kind of stuff, they could spend it right here to fix the one we're on and maintain it. She's taken care of us for billions of years and we can't take care of her. How selfish of us, Sickening. Should have left the dinosaurs in charge. To terraform Earth will cost over 1 billion times more than all economic value. Oh, I'm sure. And I don't think it's feasible. Because every planet is made up and consists of different things. Soil as we know it here on Earth would not be the same on per se Mars. There's different minerals in it. There's different textures. There's different heats of the sun. All of it is different. Two-hand shovels. Well, I won't be one of them, John. I'll just go down with Mother Earth. She goes down, I go down too. And I'll tell you, some days I'll sit and actually think about it. And it really makes me sad to the point to where I have to stop thinking about it because there's nothing I can do. And I don't like that. I don't like seeing all the crap going on around me and I can't fix it, you know. This by whole classification isn't. Oh, no, it's not. And it should have been started a very long time ago. It should have never got as bad as it is. But people don't care. I am telling you, there's people out there that probably don't even think one time in a year about this earth. They're too busy getting up every morning, going to work, saving up money to get that new Maserati, that probably not going to have gasoline for in the future. But by God, we got to get that Maserati. Or these apartments, in these 30-story buildings that are hideous. No yard. Of course, I'm a country girl. I can't imagine living without a yard. I hate apartments. I'm too close to other people. I just, but I guess if you're born in the city and you're used to that clutter, you might feel overwhelmed by wide open spaces. I don't know. Maybe it's just how I was raised, but I like wide open spaces. I like room to breathe, and I like to see horses running in the pasture, and watch little foxes play in the yard, and stuff like that people in the city don't see. It is in a natural warming phase, and we actually need. Oh yeah, I believe that too. I mean, it's on its own course, and nothing we can ever do will alter that, except for, when they came out with global warming, they scared a lot of people. Nobody knew what the hell that meant. But when you look at the phases of the earth throughout time, it changes all the time. It's constantly doing its own thing. And we have to just adjust to that. Right now, as we know it, the earth is what, 70% water. Um, before long, it may not be so, because volcanoes are constantly erupting and creating new land masses. It's constantly growing and evolving. It may need to get hotter to evaporate some of the water. But then what happens to the sea life, as we know it? If the world's still here 1 more billion years from now and we got to come back and look at it, it'd probably look like, something we would have never thought. We don't have any idea. We are not as smart as we think we are. I mean, there's other forces that are way beyond our concept. If you compare Earth now to, let's say, 1.2 billion years ago, it's literally infinitely more hospitable life. It was panicked and there was no moon. But when was there not ever a moon? I mean, besides right at the beginning of Earth. I mean, the moon was created from leftover stardust when our Earth was created. So the moon was created at the same time, pretty much. In our terms, in space terms, it's probably, thousands of years, but in our conception, it would be at the same time. It was created by blast off, leftovers. It's still volcanic. It's like these volcanoes that are erupting nonstop, especially the ones in Hawaii. Well, why is that? Because they're out there in the middle of the ocean creating land, you know? Yes, it was. That's how I think it happened. I think it was leftover space dust that formed its own entity while the Earth was being created, and I think it's, what the Earth didn't catch or what wasn't caught to form the Earth was caught to form the moon. But the sun, our sun, as far as we know, we don't even know honestly how long it's actually been there. They can guesstimate and they can hypothesize, but I don't think any of them are 100% certain exactly how old our sun is. They can get pretty close, I think. I mean, I don't know. Yep, yep, yep. It's all a process. And then it froze. Our Earth has gone through a lot of major renovations. And it has to be the way it is to maintain life as the way we know it. Maybe life will evolve. We're always evolving. Look at the caveman compared to us nowadays. One day we might be teleporting around. We may not need vehicles or gas or, we'll just be able to, in our mind, lift ourselves up and go. Who knows? Possibilities are infinite. We have no idea. It's pretty cool. I like watching them things, though, them documentaries on the creation of Earth and all that. The dinos and then giant meteor like trees separate. Yep. Yep. Yeah, I forget what they called that little rodent. But yeah, they survived because they could burrow so far into the earth. They weren't the only thing that survived either. There were some insects that survived, and um, they say that even some of the sea life survived. I don't know how that could have happened when, I mean, as far as we know, all the ocean temperatures were at boiling, so I don't know. She's always changing now. I mean, that's what the earthquakes are about, shifting Earth around, and then the volcanoes erupting and creating Earth, and yep, they have. Yep, most of the reptiles, and that's kind of odd because they're the most fragile. I mean, they have to be in certain climates, and um, you know, they're pretty fragile as far as a species goes. Yep, yep. Ancient vendetta. The oldest vendetta around, huh? What are you doing up so early anyway? Don't you have school tomorrow? I ain't your mama, I know, but just curious. Or so late. It's either early or late, depends on how you look at it. You got school in the morning, go to bed. I'm just kidding with you. Well, I'm proud of you, John. It seems like you've got good goals and plans for, your life, and I'm so glad for that. Hopefully you'll make a difference. I'm up late and I ain't got nothing better to do until my homeschool school starts. My classes are available. Oh yeah. Well, mine's on me, helps me for once. Yeah, there you go. So, do they just email you your work? Is that how they do that? Or do you have like Skype thing that the teacher comes on and per se does a lecture for a minute and you take your notes and then she gives you your work, or how does that happen? How does that work? Oh, you're welcome, sweetie. I wish you the best. We need people that want to make a difference. We really do. There's an entire platform where videos and lectures. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. So you just log on to that website and get your homework per se, kind of like we do on our online training in nursing. We go over and watch videos and then take the test and blah 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 blah. I'll be right back. I need to take me a before and after picture so I can. I'm kind of excited about it. It gives me a challenge about losing my weight. If you watch the earlier part of this video, the whole reason I came on here was to discuss a goal I have. My university also trains nurses, but that's a whole different division. There's 4 colleges in it, the same university, College of Business. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, I had thought about that, but I just, and I'm on the computer off and on all day anyway. So, I might as well be doing something to, I don't know. It's like another thing I was talking about earlier in my video, that I just feel like I'm honestly just too old to do anything different now. And I'm telling you, people say that they don't discriminate against age, but they do, even if it's inadvertently. You really, if they have a chance to hire someone that's 22 with a just starting into nursing, or somebody that their health is going away and they're knocking on the door of 60, they want that long-term employee. So who are they going to hire? Someone they think's more capable physically of doing that job. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they do it on purpose. Their job is to hire people that are best for the company and for the job at hand. And as you get older, sometimes you're just not able to do it, perfectly anymore or whatever. But techno gizmos are beyond me. I like to press a button and forget about it. Anything more than that, and I'm confused. Yeah. Oh, I'm terrible. When computers first came out, I was still young enough that, and inquisitive enough that I wanted to learn how to use them. Um, and I'm glad I did because especially in nursing, um, they came out with, we still are charting by hand. Even the MARS, which are medication administration records, where we have the orders for all the medications and we check them off as we go, stating that we gave that medication. And all the documentation, you know, there's a lot of documentation in nursing, a lot. Um, we'd all do that by hand. Everything was done by hand in these big, thick books. It was something else. But I couldn't imagine doing anything any other way because I had never known of any other way. And now, or since that we have an EMAR, it's called, where we have little laptops sitting on top of our medication carts, and we scroll down, click off a med, click, 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 top, and it's done. And you've just got this one little bitty laptop. It's pretty cool. But people say, well, it cuts down on paper. No, it doesn't, because those paper MARs are still made up every month and sitting there. So the same amount of paper is used, but they're sitting there in case something goes wrong with the computer, or in, my neck of the woods, a tornado comes through and destroys the electricity, then we still are able to document and we have a reference, in writing on paper. So it's still there. Prepare 2 speeches just in case. Ugh, see? Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know. And I'll tell you one thing that's bad about it. When you're on an actual med pass, when you're doing your big med passes, you only have X amount of time to get all these meds out and be compliant. So if your internet is slow or goes down, you'd be surprised how much that slows us down, having to go back to the booking. We get it done so much faster on a computer than we do having to flip the page and find the deal and mark it, just click. And I didn't think I'd like it, but now I can't imagine doing a med pass without it being on the computer. No wonder it took us so long, and especially if you have bad eyesight, because you've got a sheet of paper just that big, with possibly 30 medications on it and the orders. And, some of that has to be written pretty small. So you're going, it's just way more convenient on the computer. Yes, it's much easier, but I don't even know that some of the new nurses would know how to document on a paper MAR. Honestly, they look at it like it's a foreign object. They know they're there as backup, but they've never had to use one. I don't know. It's wonderful, but it could be impeding too. I mean, it's like anything else. It's got two sides. So I don't know. It's like asking a cashier to do taxes by hand. Yeah. Yeah. And before computers came out, everything was by hand. And, getting back to people not losing or not knowing how to do things, writing, a lot of people's writing is not legible. They have horrible handwriting because nobody has to write anymore. It's all typing. And they don't even have to be fast at that, Sit here and do two-finger typing. I don't know. Technology. No, it's not. And some of the doctors, when you see an original script, the one that actually just goes to the pharmacy, now, of course, through the computer, they'll just, email or however they do it, whatever you want to call it, to the pharmacy, a script. But I mean, you hardly ever see a hard script anymore. A lot of times you have to have one if it's a narcotic, because it's so easy for people to get in. These hackers and stuff can get in and create anything. So you a lot of times will have to have a hard script with that doctor's signature on it to get a narcotic. But quite a few years back, these doctors still wrote in Latin, which was also a way to distinguish a doctor from your average everyday, Joe. They wrote their scripts in Latin, which is where, our medical terminology came from anyway, was Latin. So that kept a lot of the bullshit down, because not everybody can read or even definitely not write in Latin. So I took Latin, and that's why, because I knew I was always going into the medical field. I just wasn't sure where at that point. So I went ahead and took Latin in high school. I mean, I can read it. And then whenever you go to school and learn, what all the abbreviations and what have you mean, then, that helps too. That it helps to already know some Latin. The doctor, what the hell is this? Yeah, they do. But usually, like me, if I look at a doctor's script, I can, if even if it all just looks like a scribble, I, I can pick out one word usually in there, and then all the rest of it falls together. I look at a medical script and I expect Virgil to escort me through the stages of the afterlife. The new hieroglyphs, huh? It's definitely foreign if you don't know anything about it. I mean, that's like me. I also took shorthand in school. You never see that anymore. I can still write in shorthand. Nobody'd know what I was writing but me. Unless you know shorthand, and even then, just like everybody's actual handwriting is different. That's funny. I gotta go to Pop. But I think it's interesting, and I love medical terminology. So that sort of thing, just I couldn't take my my nose out of the book. I love learning it. If it's something I enjoy learning, it's really easy for me. But if it's something that I think's irrelevant, or I just won't learn it. And that's my problem. That was my problem in college. It's like, why do I have to know this? You know? And no, I don't need algebra. I will never use that. I don't have to figure out, now if I was a pharmacist or somebody, nowadays you don't even have to know that. Everything's done by machines. Now, sometimes a pharmacist will have to know, they do create compound medications, especially creams, that are, have different mixes of different medications in them, your topical medications. Some of them are compounded, and then you would have to know. But to me, that's easy. It's a lot easier for me to figure out, okay, I need 1/3 of lidocaine to mix with, per se, I don't know, some, 1 gram of, I don't know, whatever med they're mixing with it. Business with arithmetic, so I don't know what they're actually. Yeah, me either. And I hated algebra. I took algebra 1 and 2, and I have never used it in my lifetime. And back when I first started actually giving medications, the scripts that you see nowadays weren't as written out as they are now. I mean, they did leave some things to where you'd have to figure out exactly how much of that medication to give. And the hardest one is in the liquids, but it wasn't so in depth. I didn't have to know X plus Y equals Z, or what is Y, blah, blah, blah. None of that made any sense to me. Never did, never will. All I had to know was, well, you do have to know centimeters and milliliters and stuff like that, but that's not algebra. That's something you learn in home ec. How many cc's does it take to make an ounce? Or milliliters, are same as cc's. Yeah, I mean, liquid measurements, and even the nurse's aides, when documenting on each resident, like say their intake, they do need to know how much, like per se, a certain glass, a drinking glass that we use holds. If it's 120 cc carton of meal supplement or milk, that counts as liquid. It counts as their fluid. So you have to count how much fluid and how much a percentage of the plate they ate. That's all documented at the end of every meal. So I can see knowing your measurements like that. Those are pretty important in everyday life, period. Even if you're a stay-home mom and you're following a recipe. Lady Adara the Great. Okay, John, get some rest and study hard. Thanks for coming on and talking to me. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to go too. I've been on here almost 3 hours. I can't believe it. That's what happens here lately. I usually come on here and I'll start talking and get my whole subject out, and I've already been on an hour and a half before people decide to come on, and then I enjoy visiting with them. So, or y'all. Anyway, okay, I'm going to go. We have a goal. I'm going to lose some weight. Y'all send out good vibes to me, and so I can do it, because this is something I haven't ever had to deal with before. a brand new challenge on my end. So wish me luck, and I will talk to y'all another time. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.